Hello, everyone, and welcome to Excellency Heavy League. I am Necrox, your host for the evening. Joining me, 1, 2, 3, all below, DJ, RMC, and Dia, ready to bring you the series. We have two gladiators, or should I say superheroes, taking the rift tonight. Sparta Prime taking on the Citrine Slicer and LBK Lemons.
Yeah, we certainly. Oh, yeah, hit me, baby, hit me. I know you're.
I was gonna say,
I know
I'm
you're on
ready
Team
to fight,
Citrine
Necrox.
Slicer over here. Yeah, apparently we're ready to fight too.
Yeah, let's see. I was thinking of a sort of deathmatch style, but Necrox, I want you to lay down some ground rules before we actually get to beating the out of each other.
Considering we are on the same team, Dia, you and I here for LBK Lemons, we're gonna go first. We don't care about Sparta Prime. We don't want to hear any of their nonsense right out of the gate. We got to give the audience the good stuff up front, or they're just gonna hit the door. So you and I first, Dia. Let's go through. I want to hear the backstory of where the Citrine Slicer comes from. Looks gorgeous, beautiful, but
Yeah.
I want to know the details.
Yeah,
Very
sure.
powerful. Lena B. Kennedy. This is the power of having a host side, by the way. Lena B. Kennedy actually has her origins in a very wholesome place. She was lemon farm initially, partially why she is known as the Citrine. Now, working on a farm, it wasn't just about harvesting crops, it was also about making products, because you gotta make a bunch of stuff to go with lemons. Lemons don't just sell themselves. And was making a lot of lemonades, jams, things type, even curd, and actually ended up falling into a vat of it. After falling into the vat, discovered that not only did she smell really, really good all the time, but she was also able to slice through any material acid that she could emit. Hands, appendages of all kinds.
Wow,
Now-
smells good and acid. She's got it all, doesn't she?
Yeah, exactly. It's more about the hygiene than anything that really makes it a superhero. It's just so much easier. But she did have a problem to contend with. That is that her boss did want to turn her into a lemon harvesting machine. Did manage to escape and now fights peacefully across the globe for both the safety of the world and for ethical farming practices.
I appreciate it. Lots of detail in the background. We do have one contender, though. Before we hear more about the Citrine Slicer and LBK Lemon's abilities and just their true powers as a hero, I want to hear the Sparta Prime side. RMC, DJ, I know you guys have been concocting some sort of gross hero over there, so hit me with it. What are you guys working with?
Get out of here, Necrox. Okay, Sparta Prime has a actually tragic hero backstory. Unlike Citrine Slicer here, this man was the captain of the wrestling club in high school. He was supposed to represent them at nationals, but he was hit in philosophy class by Socrates' paradox. I know that I know nothing. And the second he was hit with this paradox, he realized that he knew nothing. And he completely forgot how to wrestle. He also failed the philosophy class, by the way. This absolutely decimated him. He was completely lost without any sort of direction, the past scarring him until he was saved upon stumbling on a Spartan relic that turned him into the hero he is today. Brand new, refurbished lineup with so much potential, free from the scarring of his past. He's now ready to deny the Athenians' philosophy and redeem himself in philosophy class.
Now, with great power, also unfortunately comes some side effects here. Sparta Prime, amazing, great guy. But we have to remember, was originally just kind of a normal person with some better than average wrestling skills here. So, needs some time to really grow into the full superhero power. What we're seeing right now is just Sparta Prime beta, if anything. It's not full here. Another unfortunate side effect was that as a Spartan, you need to bulk up, forget carbs. All you need is protein, so none of that carbs, none of that vegetables, none of those fruits,
including lemons.
Hey. And right now, Sparta Prime trying to get big, trying to get bulky, and trying to help out people running around town, protecting everybody here. Can be found saving people and protesting outside the Parthenon, trying to keep those, locations in good shape, cultural protection. Now, Sparta Prime, because bit of a new superhero right now. They have huge confidence in themselves. They don't have arch enemies yet. Everybody's, just a challenge to be overcome. So a little bit maybe overconfident, perhaps, but we'll have to see about that.
Yeah,
So,
Sparta
wait,
Prime, true name Butler Gerard coming at you, ladies and gentlemen.
If I'm hearing this correctly, Sparta Prime is, let me summarize his backstory, if I may. Basically, a aimless pantheon that's a total rookie on the superhero scene. Am I hearing this correctly?
Yeah, but you got to remember, rookies have the greatest room to grow, and they always have the biggest ceiling.
Right.
Dia, you are watching, you are waiting. This hero gonna slap you down on his way to stardom.
Order in the comic book nerd section, please. We have to get to the death match we have in front of us. Now it's time to bring out the abilities that these two offer. Of course, Dia and I on Team Citrine Slicer. I'm going to bring it to you nice and fast. Ability / hero power number 1, Snip. When brought together, the Citrine Slicer's appendages can come together, form as one to slice whatever
nice
lies
grammar,
in
guys.
between them, including Sparta Prime.
The lemon, give them
Second,
some slack.
in your face, the Citrine Slicer can rush her targets at lightning speed, talking faster than Rammus with Predator boots. Control. The closer you get to the Citrine Slicer, the faster you perceive time. Not the faster time gets, but the faster you perceive time, making everything disorienting. Precise eyes and steady hands are fourth power. All of the Citrine Slicer's movements are precise. She can grab a fly out of the air by its antenna. Last one, Citrus Voyage. If Snip cuts something into the smaller part, can be placed in a lemon-scented pocket dimension and returned to the hole at a later time. The limits are untested.
Okay, Citrine Slicer sounds great, does a lot with lemons, but that just sounds like insect abuse to me. Now, we got Sparta Prime over here, and Sparta Prime, that's a real hero. We start off with the ability shape-shifting right away here for Sparta Prime, so you can't pin Sparta Prime down. They'll adapt, they'll adjust, and they will overcome. We've got Reality Break, and Sparta Prime is so Spartan, so manly right now that he just breaks reality there. You can't define Sparta Prime by logic. And did I say logic? Because there's illogical intimidation as well. Kind of ties into it a little bit here, where it doesn't matter that Sparta Prime's not final form yet. Just looking at Sparta Prime, you can see, the potential there. And because of that, opponents are going to struggle. They're going to see that false image, the sensation of a real final form boss right here. And then we've got Kaioken. Fans of the anime genre will remember this, but for superhero comic fans who don't really follow anime, basically, it's a huge power boost. Anytime you think you've got Sparta Prime backed into a corner, he's just going to explode with power. Unless he doesn't. And we don't talk about that. And then there's One for All. Another more anime-style reference, but still, One for All basically just builds up power over time. Sparta Prime will get stronger and stronger. Every time you think you've beat Sparta Prime, you've got another thing coming. Just wait for next week.
Okay, a little bit of scaling built into the champion. I like it, RMC. Now it's time for the death match. Let's keep our nice hats on. I'll open the floor to discussion now. Obviously, Dia, I'm with you on this one, but we're going to give it to DJ and RMC first. Please, take it away. What makes Sparta Prime eligible to beat the Citrine Slicer?
DJ, I know you've got a little demonstration prepared to show.
Oh, gosh.
Oh yeah. We'll save that for predictions. We'll save the graphic violence for predictions here at the end of the show, RMC. Let's talk more about why our hero is obviously going to win tonight. I think you kind of highlighted here, RMC, beforehand, in particular, that illogical illusion effect in the mid lane. It's just going to wipe the floor with them. How can you hit someone with your acid if you have no idea where to shoot? You got no accuracy. You got no ability to connect there. You're just going to get broken down by that one. And then all of those superpowers that come out of the bottom lane, once they're set up for success, once that strength, comes out of boost, you are just going to get plowed over the second you lose your bearing. So I think it starts with that illogical intimidation, and then all of the other damage dealing abilities are just going to hit home here. And Citrine Slicer is not going to be able to keep herself together.
Dia, is it similar thoughts for you? But I feel like Citrine Slicer's got more up her sleeve than just some acid. I don't know. I'm not buying Sparta Prime.
I definitely think so. And it comes down to a sort of Superman versus Batman situation. We can sort of go on all day, but the edge, or sort of the edge cases here, come down to where you're executing, right? And I think that if Sparta Prime can stay at a distance that they actually allow themselves to get the best scaling out of their final superpower, which I actually thought brought a lot to the table, then you have a chance. The problem that I see is if Citrine Slicer actually gets close to Sparta Prime, he's going to be used to a very different sort of power curve. Because remember, his perception of time is going to speed up. And so if you're used to operating at these points in a fight where you should be much stronger than you are due to the final power that was listed, what was it, RMC? One for all? If you're used to being much more powerful at a point in the fight because of One for All, I think that Citrine's power could catch you off guard, and if you can get a few snips in here and there, Sparta Prime could find himself operating without a whole lot of body parts left.
I agree. I mean, I think if you get the fight rolling and you just push your advantages if you're the Citrine Slicer, it doesn't seem to be a close fight at all, but I mean, is there any way you can change my mind, RMC? The fight right now looks to be going the way of Alina B. Kennedy. Is there anything that Sparta Prime can bring to the table to turn it around?
I mean, you know what? I see where Dia's coming from. I'll give Citrine Slicer that much credit. If you can get in there, if you can catch us by surprise, if you can snip things off. I'm hearing a lot of ifs. It's real conditional here, Dia. And I'm looking at the shape-shifting ability of Sparta Prime specifically here because we talk about, okay, One for All and all that, but to get to that One for All state, a lot of times, Sparta Prime's going to rely on that shapeshifting real early here, and you never know what you're coming up against. Citrine Slicer might be able to handle lemons, maybe even a lime or two, but can you handle a cow? So I'm trying to think what else shows up.
Wait, a cow? Okay, I'm sorry. What? We have all this shape-shifting ability, and we went for a cow. We went for a cow.
I don't know why I'm thinking of Sparta.
Get him out
What do
here,
Spartans look like, man? I'm thinking that literally the beefiest thing, and what came to mind was beef, cow, beef, cow. We're going with that.
I like it.
Get RMC out of here. He's fired. This man has a shape-shifting ability. He goes for a cow. Goodness, RMC. You're not selling me at all. I mean, the Citrine Slicer, it seems to me that the fight relies on two main areas. The ability to snowball out of control and get a fight sort of in your face before you realize it. And Sparta Prime seems to need more time to come online. Does Sparta Prime get that in the fight, DJ? I mean, I know that the team maybe, or the hero, it's team hero. This line's just so blurred. It's not even a line anymore. It's just a gray puddle. The hero is a new formation. Is it able to backpedal enough before the Citrine Slicer can just cut you off and take your win just like that?
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a fair assessment that new heroes do take some time, on the battlefield to get used to some things. But I mean, how many times have we watched, heroes like this come into a fight and they seems like they're undermatched only for their talent, only for their strength to rise to the top. You learn fastest in combat, and we know that this hero has so much potential, so much talent, literally handpicked. A lot of these pieces, did the captain of the team to try to, by his own admission, make a deep run in the playoffs, make a deep run for this title, to be the strongest hero that we have in Excellency. And that is what we're looking for here, the rise of this hero. Yes, they are brand new, but every hero starts out brand new, and they rise through those experiences to the top. And that is what these abilities are all about. I think this matchup is almost too good for Sparta Prime. And let me I'll show you why now. Careful, everybody. This might get a little violent here for 18 TV. This is a lemon. These are the lemons. This is a lemon juicer. This is what happens when you use a lemon juicer on a lemon.
It seems to be causing you some struggles, DJ.
That's like DJ. That's not Sparta Prime,
and
man.
This is lemonade. And this is what Sparta Prime is going to do to LBK lemons.
Wait, did he just
drinking?
Drink them? is that the
Oh,
Wait,
look at
DJ is the superhero here. Wait a
Yeah,
minute.
what? How did you get that much lemon juice out of
my God.
a freaking lemon? All right. Closing argument side, minus the abomination of lemonade that DJ just drank and is now going to pucker up for the next 30 minutes. Dia,
Do I look
get the
puckered to
honors.
you?
Dia, you get the honors closing argument. Sell me one more time for Citrulline Slicer before we head over to the analyst desk.
You know what? I'm seeing what Sparta Prime are laying down. I think that they have a lot of potential as a hero, but I think that something that we cannot forget is that Citrine Slicer comes from humble backgrounds and has been working at this for a really long time, knows exactly who they want to be as a hero, and has made themselves into that. And that's where we're coming into the fight. Right now, today is when we're seeing this matchup happen. And Citrine Slicer is just going to have the edge over Sparta Prime because of their experience on the field. Sparta Prime, I think that they can take this perhaps another day once they get their feet under them. But for right now, with shape-shifting, doing what you want, even illogical intimidation being a very strong ability in its own right, I don't know if those people are all going to come together in time to win a fight before it's over.
Okay, RMC, quickly. Last time you didn't impress me at all. You're talking about some cow. You got about 30 seconds to hit me with your closing argument here. Sparta Prime, can they take it on the evening?
Man, as Chad said, you can't milk those. I think the battle cow is worth a second thought. But you know what? For Sparta Prime, okay, fair enough. They do need some time to grow. They are a new superhero. Nobody's denying that here. But I think just their raw ability they have, it's frankly kind of overpowered. And I think they can pull out a little bit of a surprise here. Citrine Slicer doesn't really know too much of the history of Sparta Prime here. So I think we can trust into that. And even if you can't trust that, I think we can trust in DJ, who just managed to drink straight up lemon juice. If a man who can do that is backing up Sparta Prime, you know who you want to be backing up.
Yeah, don't
know.
ask DJ for his final thoughts. I'm not sure if he can speak.
No, I'm not going there. That's a whole nother dimension. I got to deal with him on the analyst desk. For now, though, we don't have a judge. I'm only a host. I'm not qualified to make a decision. But let's head straight on over to the analyst desk. RMC and Dia, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you when we get on the rift. Can't wait to hear you all make your debut cast here for this season of the Excellency Heavy